Welcome back everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be showing you how I make this emulsified herbal body butter. This is such a lovely, lightweight, luxurious butter that just soaks into your skin. It doesn't feel heavy or greasy. So I'm going to show you my process step by step. This is different from the traditional whipped body butter. So if you've never made an emulsified body butter, this is a great one to test out. So I'm going to be showing you my process step by step. So let's jump right in. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Esther and I make DIY hair and skincare videos, and I also sell my skincare products on my website as well as my online formulating classes. Everything I mentioned will be linked in the description box. So let's get started. I'm going to get started weighing out my ingredients, and I'm using my scale that zeroes out to 0.01 grams, and I'll have the complete formula listed at the end of this video. And please, if you haven't yet subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also turn on your notifications so that way you don't miss any new videos that I upload. That really helps. So moving on to the first phase, phase A, that's going to be our water phase. I'm going to weigh out my distilled water. To my distilled water, I'm also going to add in some vegetable glycerin. The vegetable glycerin is going to help attract moisture to your skin. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off my jar from the scale, and I'm going to zero out my scale, and then I'm going to place the jar again on my scale so that way I can write the weight. This is important because when you heat up this jar during the heating process, you are going to lose water due to evaporation. So take note of the weight and then just set aside your jar. Some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. For phase B, this is our oil phase. I'm starting out with Olivem 1000. This is a natural emulsifying wax, and this is going to help combine the water and oils together in this formula. And I'm also using a second emulsifying wax, Glycerol Stearate SE. This is going to help stabilize this emulsified body butter because Olivem 1000 can be a little bit unstable. I'm going to add in some kokum butter. This is an amazing natural plant butter packed with vitamin E. It's going to protect your skin and improve your skin's moisture content. I'm adding in some Natrasil. This is a natural alternative to synthetic silicones, just to help improve the feel of this body butter cream. So this is what the oil phase is looking like. So I have my herbal oil infusion right here, and I'll link the video showing how I made this herbal infused oil. But I'm going to add this oil after my waxes have heated up, just to preserve this oil and not add any unnecessary heat. So now I'm going to place my jars in a water bath on medium heat, and I'm going to heat this up for about 10 to 15 minutes until I reach a temperature of about 150 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to make sure that your waxes and butter, they've completely melted down, but you don't want to heat this too long on very high heat. I'm adding in my herb infused oil. Now that all the waxes and butter have melted, I'm going to give this a quick stir, and then I'm going to take this off the heat since I've reached the temperature range that I want. And this is what it's looking like. I'm going to replace any water that has been lost during this heating process. So I'm going to place my jar on my scale and replace the water loss with some distilled water. and I'm going to combine both phases together. So I'm going to add the water phase A, into the oil phase B, and I'm going to use my stick blender. You need a high shear stick blender to do the mixing. So I'm just going to mix for about 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that both phases are well combined and there's no separation.
But I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind.
After mixing, this is what my mixture is looking like. So it is quite runny, which is perfectly fine. It's going to thicken up as it cools down. So when I checked the temperature, it was at 123 degrees Fahrenheit. So for my heat sensitive ingredients like my preservative, essential oils, I like to add them when it's at 100 degrees Fahrenheit and below. So I'm going to set it aside to cool, and I'm going to work on my cool down phase ingredients. I'm using some Propendal just to help mix in my preservative. Propendal is also a powerful humectant that's going to improve hydration to your skin. I'm adding in my preservative, Euxil PE9010. This is a broad spectrum preservative that's effective against bacteria, yeast and mold, and the Propendal is going to help mix this preservative into the formula. Since this is a water-based product, you are going to need a preservative.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh.
I'm checking the temperature a second time, and the temperature is at 98 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to start adding my cool down phase ingredients. I'm going to add in my preservative mix, and I'm going to give this a good mix. You want to take the time to mix in your preservative for a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, just to make sure it's well blended into this emulsion. So that way the preservative can work in this formula. I'm adding in some cucumber extract. Cucumber extract is going to improve skin hydration as well. And then I'm going to add in some vitamin E. Vitamin E is going to keep the oils fresh in this formula, and that way it doesn't go rancid and have a funny smell. I'm also going to just mix this quickly, and then I'm also going to add in some lavender essential oil. This is optional, you can leave this unscented. I like lavender essential oil, so I'm going to add that in and just give everything a quick mix.
You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
So this is what the consistency is looking like. So it's still very runny, but it's going to thicken up as it cools down. So this is still very warm to the touch. So I'm just going to set this aside to cool down some more, and I'll show you what the texture looks like after about 30-45 minutes. After about 45 minutes, this is what the consistency is looking like. So it has thickened up much more, and you can always adjust your emulsifying wax percentage to make it even more thicker, or you could use a thickener like stearic acid or cetyl alcohol to make a much more thicker emulsified body butter. But so far this is what it's looking like. I'm going to go ahead and check the pH. So I've used the same process. I'm going to weigh out a small amount of my body butter, and I'm going to add in some distilled water, give it a good mix, and then I'm going to use my pH meter to take the reading. The initial pH was at 6.60. So I'm going to use some 50% citric acid solution to lower the pH. The pH of our skin is between 4.5 to 5.5. So I'm just going to mix that in and let it sit for about a minute, and then I'm going to recheck the pH a second time following the same process.
You're butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight.
And the final pH is at 4.80. So I'm going to let this cool down till it gets to room temperature before I package this up. You want to make sure that you package up your body butter when it's at room temperature, so that way you can avoid condensation in your containers, because that can cause bacterial contamination.
You whip up my appetite.
And this is what the emulsified body butter is looking like once it has cooled down completely. This is the texture and the consistency. If you want a much thicker emulsified body butter, just adjust your emulsifying wax, your thickeners. But so far, this is what I have. I love the consistency. It's just such a soft, luxurious body butter once you use it on your skin. I'm going to package this up. This made a 500-gram batch. I decided to pipe it just for fun, but this was a little bit on the thin side with the consistency, so it's not as thick as my other emulsified body butter products that I've made, but I still loved how it turned out, and it feels really nice on the skin. So I hope you try this out. I'm going to show you the formula, and this is what the formula is. You can make substitutions, adjustments, and make it work for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, my formula and my process for making this emulsified body butter. Please don't forget to like this video and leave a comment. If you have a question, just leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer your questions. But please like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And for those of you supporting my Patreon, I'm so thankful for each of you. I'm so appreciative. And if you want to check out my Patreon, it is linked in the description box. I post 2 bonus videos every month that I don't share here on YouTube. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.